how these subjects and how, in general, the Israel-Palestine issues are treated in Brazil by politicians and by certain different groups. You mentioned, Cedê, that a lot of the people coming back from Israel were kind of showing themselves to be declared kind of outwardly evangelical Christian. So what kind of help our viewers understand what is the link there between a kind of a evangelical Christian group, generally in Brazil, quite to the right of center, and the Jewish state of Israel?
Yeah, so polls in Brazil consistently show that a large majority of evangelical Brazilians are Bolsonaro voters. So they voted for to re-elect former far-right President Jair Bolsonaro. And some of these evangelicals, just as much as in the United States, are big supporters of Israel. And some of them in the US, for example, they will sponsor settlements in the West Bank, or they will sponsor Israeli settlements in some degree. And some of those evangelicals, they believe that by supporting Israel and that by supporting settlements in West Jordan, in the West Bank, they will somehow accelerate the final judgment days. They will accelerate the apocalypse, and they will accelerate the return of Jesus. And so this is an important theological issue for part of the evangelicals, both in Brazil and in the United States. And some of them might not believe that they can accelerate the final judgment, but regardless, they have strong sympathies for the Israeli cause. And some of them on social media, for instance, they will bear Israeli flags and support for the Israeli cause, and so on. So they believe they are they form part of the so-called Judeo-Christian alliance, and so they have a sympathy towards the Israeli side of the conflict. On the other hand, there are a lot of people in the traditional left wing and members of the Workers' Party in Brazil, some of them lawmakers, who have strong sympathies towards the Palestinian side, which does include on part of them support for Hamas, or at least not explicitly condemning Hamas or opposing the classification of Hamas as a terrorist group, because they say, quote unquote, that resistance is not terrorism. So you have people on both sides of the political aisle in Brazil who are willing to join sides and take sides, as opposed to forming a more nuanced or more balanced view of the conflict. Some of them on both sides are more than willing to very strongly take sides on the issue.